The problem is today, it can be pushed in a way that's so different than when we were kids. When we were kids, if you were a gay guy, you became a priest. Did you have a gay guy in high school that became a priest?
Joe Rogan's take on woke culture. Joe Rogan, the host of one of the world's most popular podcasts, has become a prominent figure in the discussion surrounding woke culture. His candid remarks and controversial opinions often stir up strong reactions, making him a key player in the ongoing debate. In this post, we'll dive into some of the most notable moments where Rogan has challenged woke ideologies and the implications of his statements. Defining the woke culture. Understanding what woke culture entails can help clarify Rogan's critiques. Woke culture generally refers to a heightened awareness of social injustices, especially those related to race, gender, and sexual orientation. However, it also encompasses a set of ideologies that some view as overly politically correct or censorious. Rogan's perspective often highlights what he sees as the absurdities within this culture. Language and its evolving nature. One of Rogan's most discussed points is the evolution of language and its implications. He addresses the complexities around terms like gay and how they are used in society. For instance, Rogan argues that the term gay should not be inherently negative and criticizes the societal pressure to avoid using certain words.
But I love gay people. I have no problem with gay people. I'm happy they're a real thing. I really am. I like it. Mix it up. Who gives a shit? So if you don't like me calling things gay, then what word would you like me to use to describe gay shit?
He humorously questions what words people would prefer instead, emphasizing that language is fluid and often misconstrued. Parental choices and gender identity. Rogan also tackles the sensitive topic of children and gender identity.
If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl. Why are you adding hormones? You're choosing to inject things into this child's body on a regular basis that are going to radically affect the physical development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this isn't a choice. Well, it's definitely a choice to do that.
He recounts a conversation with a friend whose child identifies as transgender. Rogan questions the necessity of hormone treatments for children who identify with a gender different from their biological sex, arguing that it is a choice imposed by parents rather than a natural development. This perspective raises significant ethical questions about parental influence and medical intervention in gender identity. Education and indoctrination. Rogan expresses concern over how schools approach topics of race and activism.
In my school where my kids used to go, is they hired some person to teach them that they have to be anti-racists. It's not good enough to not be racist. And I was like, what? I'm like, my kids aren't racist at all. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you putting that in their head? That they have to be anti-racist and call out racism? And like, they're trying to make kids activists. I'm like, hey, they're 5.
That's crazy.
You know, like, they don't even care. They want friends. They don't give a what their friends look like.
He criticizes educational systems that push children toward becoming activists at a young age, arguing that children should be allowed to grow up without the burden of adult ideologies. According to him, children naturally do not see race until it is pointed out to them, suggesting that the current educational focus on anti-racism may be more harmful than beneficial. Sports and gender competition. Another contentious issue Rogan addresses is the participation of transgender athletes in women's sports. He points out the physiological advantages that biological males may have when competing against females, raising questions about fairness in sports. His stance highlights the ongoing debate about inclusivity versus competitive equity, and whether the current policies adequately address these concerns. The role of social media and free speech. Rogan is a staunch advocate for free speech, often critiquing the calls for regulation of social media platforms. He argues that the push for oversight stems from political biases, warning that such regulations could lead to greater censorship. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining open dialogue and the potential dangers of allowing any government or entity to control speech. Allegations of racism and cancel culture. In the face of backlash, Rogan has faced accusations of racism, particularly after clips of his past comments resurfaced. He argues that these allegations are often taken out of context and used as weapons in the cancel culture battle. His experience illustrates the precarious position public figures find themselves in, where past statements can lead to immediate condemnation without consideration of context. Media and the narrative. Rogan often critiques the media for its portrayal of issues related to race and identity. He suggests that sensationalism and a lack of nuanced discussion contribute to societal division. His commentary reflects a broader frustration with how narratives are shaped and the impact this has on public perception and discourse. Wokeness and its backlash. As Rogan notes, the growing backlash against woke culture is indicative of a broader societal shift. He argues that many people are beginning to question the extremes of political correctness and are seeking a return to more traditional values. This shift may be a response to what some perceive as an erosion of free speech and individual liberties in the face of social justice movements. Conclusion: the implications of Rogan's views. Joe Rogan's critiques of woke culture resonate with many who feel similarly about the current state of social discourse. His willingness to address controversial topics head-on invites a broader conversation about the balance between social awareness and free expression. As society continues to grapple with these complex issues, Rogan's voice remains a significant part of the dialogue, challenging norms and encouraging critical reflection on the path forward. In a time when many feel constrained by the prevailing cultural narratives, Rogan's approach underscores the importance of open discussion and the need to navigate these waters with both sensitivity and honesty.